You know that feeling when you go back to the village? They said it's where you get to connect with your roots. Be careful, because sometimes the things buried in those roots are not really ready to connect with you, especially the ones that come bearing gifts. I am so terrified of Christmas. You might ask, why am I so terrified of Christmas? Because for most people, the season is about coming home. But for me, it's always been a reminder of what happened that year. Because I can still remember it vividly. The memory always flashes back to me around this period. Because we are approaching that time again, the Christmas period. But to understand my fear, let me tell you a story of what happened to me. I've always been an outsider. My father is a Nigerian from a small village down east. My mother is a Mexican. We grew up in Abuja, me and my two brothers. A mixed-race girl with curly hair in a city where everyone else looked different. Christmas was usually our escape. We would fly to Mexico away from the Hamatan dust to my mother's family. But that year things were different. I was in SS2 and that business has taken a big hit. And we were facing financial difficulties. So there was no money for flight tickets. The decision was made, we are going to the village to spend our Christmas holiday. I can tell you we weren't deeply traditional family and we weren't deeply Christian family also. Because I had no idea what going to the village really meant. On that day, we packed into my dad's SUV. The journey from Abuja was brutal. I've always suffered from severe car sickness. Every hour, Dad had to pull over to the side of the road so I could vomit and just breathe air that didn't smell of upholstery and heat. We stopped to get fuel at a jam-packed station somewhere near Lokoja. I can't remember the name of the station. It was total chaos. Cars bomber to bomber, horns blaring, people shouting. The air was thick with the smell of raw petrol and exhaust fumes. It was making my head spin. I got out to get away from the smell, just to get in fresh air. That's where I saw her. She was standing by her family's car. If I was an outsider because I was a mixed, I tell you she would be an outsider because she was looking perfect. She was stunning, black, slender. Her skin was like polished obsidian. Her hair woven into intricate cornrows that looked like art. I can't have a word to completely describe her. People always compliment my skin, my curves, how I look in general, but looking at her, I felt plain. She must have felt me staring because she looked up from her phone and locked eyes with me. Then she smiled. That dazzling, welcoming smile. I'm always shy, but something about her made me wave back. A minute later, she came up right to me and introduced her name as Neka. Her voice was smooth and melodic. We just clicked. or so I thought. We exchanged numbers, and it turned out that her family was traveling to their village too, which was neighboring ours. It felt like lifeline, a friend in the unknown. The village was suffocatingly lonely for me. My brothers made friends instantly. They would run out into the bush playing football, guys. But I was the city girl, the only daughter. I was stuck indoor all by myself. When Neka texted to invite me over to her place, I almost cried with relief. But her message had a strange postscript. Come anytime, she wrote, but please do not come between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. I didn't really pay much attention to it. So, on the day of the visit, I miscalculated the Okada ride. I arrived at her family compound at exactly 12:30 p.m. When I got to the compound, it was dead quiet. No chicken clucking, no children shouting, no normal village scenario, nothing. Just the sound of wind in the palm trees. I knocked on the main door, no answer. The door was ajar, so I slightly pushed it open. The whole family was in the parlor. Neka, her parents, and her brothers. They were all sitting on mats on the floor, completely silent. Every single one of them was wrapped from head to toe in plain, stark white cloth, like shrouds. They didn't even move. They didn't even acknowledge me. They didn't even look at me. It felt like I just walked into a photograph. I became terrified. My stomach dropped. Then I backed out. I went out to the veranda and sat there. A few minutes later, around 1 p.m., Neka came out smiling, wearing normal clothes, acting like nothing had happened. I was too polite, too scared to ask. Before I left, she gave me a gift, a small unlabeled glass bottle of perfume. It smelled intensely sweet, almost sticky, like overripe fruits and jasmine. I thanked her and put it inside my bag, but for the rest of the visit, she kept pushing. Have you worn it? She always asked me every 5 minutes. She tried pushing me to wear it, that I should try it now, it will smell lovely on me. Just to make her stop asking, I dabbed some of the perfume on my neck and on my wrist. She smiled. A wide, satisfied smile that didn't even reach her eyes. I didn't say anything. I went home. I've always suffered of insomnia for years. In the city, I would stare at the ceiling until 4 a.m. But that night, after the visit to her compound, a heavy, unnatural exhaustion crushed me. I fell into a deep black sleep as soon as my head hit the pillow. Then, in the dead of the night, I woke up. I am sure that I woke up, but I couldn't move. Sleep paralysis, or so I thought. But the air in the room felt very wrong. It was thick, cold. I felt an intense weight of being washed. The hairs on your neck. If you are being washed, the hair of your neck will stand up. That was the feeling I was having. My eyes were drawn up to the ceiling. There was something hanging there. A dark figure clinging to the ceiling like a giant spider. The figure was not moving. It just tilted its head. but I can make out the shape. It was her shape. It was Nneka's shape. But where her face should have been, there was just a glowing point of light, deep, vivid red blood eye, staring directly at me. She was just hanging there watching. I know that I tried getting up, but my body was not moving. Immediately, I heard a shout. My mother, she was shouting, calling my name, and turned on the light. I blinked against the sudden light. The ceiling was empty. Because I looked up at the ceiling again. It was empty. The figure has gone. I didn't even realize I was screaming. So the next morning at 6 a.m. sharp, my phone rang. It was Nneka. I let it ring. It rang again and again because I was too terrified to touch the phone. I told my mother what happened. She waved it off. She named it change of environment. She said I was stressed. But I knew what I saw. I went to find my grandmother. She was this small woman withered by the sun. She rarely spoke, but I tell you, she saw and knew everything. I told her about the visit, about the white cloth, about the figure. She didn't react. Her face remained impassive. Then immediately I mentioned the perfume. Her eyes snapped towards me. She demanded I should get the perfume. Her voice was like cracking stone. I had to run to get it. She didn't open it. She just held the perfume between the two fingers like it was poison. Without word, she walked out of the compound towards our back bush. When she came back, I didn't see the perfume on her again, but she held out a lump of raw black soap to me. She told me to go and bathe. She scrubbed everywhere I had put that scent. As I was told, I scrubbed my skin until it was raw. When I got out of the bedroom, I checked my phone. The missed calls had stopped. Nneka never called again. We spent another 2 weeks in the village, and our place is just a few miles from hers, but I never saw her again. We never went back to the village for Christmas, and now, whenever someone offers me a gift that smells a little too sweet, I remember the white clothes, I remember the red eyes on the ceiling, and I'm always terrified of Christmas.